What's up? This is Dez from Devildriver. You're watching Loud TV. Turn it up and watch carefully.
Introduce us your life on the road. It's not so easy, yeah?
It's as easy or hard as you want to make it. Right? So you wake up, you have to go find a bathroom and a shower, you got to find some food. You go, maybe get a shower if you can, you do press. Then you go have a little wine before the show, you do the show, I go back to the bus and watch movies or whatever, you know.
Read?
I read a ton. I read
You're the only one
I read
with
three
metal
books. Yeah, I read 3 books like at the same time.
Yeah?
Like I can't, so I constantly am reading.
Yeah.
I'm into esoteric. I read a lot of esoteric knowledge. A lot of Freemason literature, everything from Manly P. Hall to Albert Pike to, but I also like everything from Sun Tzu to Confucius, to Plato. Like I love to read. I think it's important. The man that takes time to read gets through life in a better fashion.
It's good for your brain?
It's good for your brain, your soul, your character. It's good for you.
The name Devildriver, by the way, is something like quite esoteric.
Yeah, Strigatia comes from the Italian witches, the Etruscan witches. They called their bells devil drivers to drive away evil. So it sounded perfect in metal, and then it also had a good connotation to it. Ringing a bell to drive away evil is killer. So I've been collecting bells for a long time. I have
bells?
Yeah, I have so many at my house from all sorts of countries and all sorts of big ones and small ones and little ones, and people constantly coming to give me bells. And don't get me wrong, I have my down periods, my moments, but I'd rather be an inspiration to myself and others that are having a bad time in life, I mean, on this tour alone, my best friend died a week and a half ago at home and I wasn't there. My dad is in the hospital right now. My stepfather had cancer. You have to deal with things on tour that you would normally deal with at home. You have to try to deal with them out here. You can't just get negative about it. You have to try to stay positive.
That's the matter, because you got a family, you got 3 kids, and so I bet that when you're home, you want to be on the road, and when you're on the road, you'd like to be
Yeah, well, this tour specifically, because there was so much going on. It was my 10-year anniversary, my wife's birthday, But I wasn't going to pass up the chance to tour with Machine Head.
Yeah.
No way. They're great guys, great band. It would take us a long time, Devildriver, to play in front of this many people all through Europe, just headlining. So it was a great spot, great opening spot, and I thank them for having us. Everything in life is in the work. It's the lazy man who goes to the wayside. No one around him, not his family, not his friends, no one benefits from lazy people, and I love to work. So even if I'm home for a few weeks, I like to go in the studio and guest on somebody's stuff or do vocals somewhere else. I have to work. I know when to take time off, and when I do, I turn my phone off. I'm there for my family. I'm cooking for my wife, and I'm there.
French cook also.
Yeah, I could cook anything.
Really?
Yes.
And you have worked everywhere. You have worked in the hair.
I've done many things. I was a bricklayer. I worked, in all sorts of forms of construction. When I was a kid, I worked in a hardware store. I hurt my back on the job laying brick and went into doing hair as well. I did a lot of different things,
Always in California?
Yeah, always in California.
And what was your worst work ever?
Oh, working for my stepfather could be a problem. But he's a very hard-working. You have to imagine Clint Eastwood and John Wayne put together, riding your ass all day long on the job site. But, this is where I get my work ethic, is from him. I saw him get up, work all day, come home tired every day, and, put food on the table for the family. So this is where I get this from him. So I'm blessed that he put this in me. When you're young, you're like, oh, why are you yelling at me so much? Now I realize that that's what makes you a man, is gives you character. And
now that you're in the 40s, you do the same with you guys, with your boys?
No, these aren't boys anymore. They're men. They're in their 30s. Some of them, past their 30s. So I don't need to yell. They know. They know if I'm uptight. I got a good bunch of guys around me. we're very prolific.
Yeah.
We write a lot, and I think that's important. We also, on that point, do more shows per year than any metal band on the planet. I think what people need to know is this, right? We were together only 6 months before we had our first record deal. Most bands have 6 years to write that first record. So we're learning how to evolve. That's why we put out a record every 2 years. It's like, it's a natural progression to have that music and to be ready. That being said, I don't think you're going to get another one in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a little longer because we have a lot more touring to do, just starting to write, and I don't want to force anything. And I want to do another record that's different, that's a step away from the next one, you know. Like Pray for Villains and Beast are so different. And it has to be that way, I think, you know.
And the previous album called Beast is really angry, you know? You can feel that. I've heard that there were specific troubles.
Yeah, not within the band, but within the persons. So my drummer got divorced. Mike, my guitar player, lost his 8 or 9 year old, 8 or 9 year relationship from touring so much. Me and my family were displaced, homeless wise, because the wildfires came in. So I had to leave the recording process and move my family. It was just a fucking hell to make that record. But when you go back now and you listen to it, it's like, that's why it's so volatile, it's so visceral, it's like so in your fucking face, you know, because that's how we were all feeling. But what's great is all of those bad things that happen, like we managed to just still stay together. I mean, you know, my bass player was drinking so much he didn't even really play on the record or write, or, you know, and so now he's gone, and everything is better there too. So we learn how to hang together and make it a unit. So
anger can be transformed into...
The release of anger
yeah.
can transform itself into positivity. That's what I got out of music, man. When I listened to punk rock when I was young, it's like, okay, fuck, I can get myself through, you know.
And there are a lot of rumors, you know, about Cold Chamber reunion. Mm-hmm. Is it right? And
we're doing shows in Australia.
Okay.
So the way that happened is in 2005. You know, I left Cold Chamber because they got on speed.
Yeah.
You can't tour with anyone on speed. It's not good. So I bailed out. And in 2005, Meeks came to a Devildriver show, sold out Devildriver show in Los Angeles, talked to my wife, apologized to my wife and kids, actually. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was like, that's a big-hearted man. In 2009, you can YouTube it, he came out on stage and did Loco with Devildriver.
Okay.
Afterwards, he hugs me. And in my ear, you can see, he says, I want to do this again. It took us 2 years to talk, and now we're going to go do, you know, 7 or 8 shows in Australia, and I'm looking forward to that.
It seems that you like Australia.
I love Australia. Great people, great shows. The promoter is a great friend of mine. I mean, he's a promoter to most people, but to me, he's just a fabulous guy. Him and his wife are great people.
So
Cold Chamber was never there. We never went there. It's a perfect place to do it. And I never wanted Cold Chamber to tour unless it was 110%. Because at that point, it could be a 10-pound gorilla, man. And that's exactly what's going to happen, 10-ton gorilla, you know.
So there will be old songs, of course, because they
Of course. Yeah, we only have 3 mix it up. And we're playing with all the other biggest bands of that time. That era spawned some of the biggest bands that are still the biggest in the world now. I mean, you know, Cold Chamber took Slipknot on their first U.S. tour ever.
Yeah,
now look at Slipknot, one of the biggest bands in the world. Disturbed opened for Cold Chamber for years. Every time we came through Chicago, they're huge. System of a Down opened for Cold Chamber for years in Los Angeles.
So was Fear Factory.
Fear Factory. So what a great time to do it, you know, and to revisit those songs. And that's where I'm in. And life is too short and too filled with love and light to not go revisit that, you know. And I know I said for years that I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But watching those guys off of drugs for 10 years, and my band in Devildriver actually hangs out with them more than me. When they're in LA, they're all at clubs hanging out and whatever. So, you know, my guitar player Mike actually said, I hang out with those guys more than you. So it's good to see all that. Everyone's getting along and, you know, wanting me to just do art with everyone, that's the most important thing, is the art. We come off the road, go for Christmas. I go do Cold Chamber, Australia, February. March, we're doing another States run. June and July, we come back over and do festivals.
Okay.
All over Europe. Next summer.
Maybe with a band that has reformed?
No, Devildriver. Devildriver next year. Like I said, with Cold Chamber, we're going to do these shows, and that's
not
it for
with
now.
This band. Another reformation, another reunion, something, maybe a Black Sabbath?
Oh, that's right. Shit.
So, that is
Oh, is that Hellfest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no confirmation. Cannot say.
Ah, but your smile says.
I cannot say.
Okay.
All I can say is that the times that we have played that festival, been amazing.
Yeah.
Anytime we can play with Black Sabbath, great. Best band on the fucking planet. I was fortunate in my life to work with great people, man, and I've done a song with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Not many people can say that.